Okay, we are live. So, hello everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play Roll for Shoes.
Da-da-da. Woo.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master or the Game Master in this particular case for tonight. We are missing Mark Kilfoyle, so we are not going to have our regular adventure, but we are, with the players still here, going to still explore the Moonshadowed Sea, but this time we're going to do it with a new cast of characters and playing a little fun game called Roll for Shoes. If you're not already familiar, Roll for Shoes is a very simple tabletop RPG where everybody starts with the ability to do anything, and you roll 1d6 to see how well you do, and then I will roll either 1d6, 2d6, or 3d6, depending on how hard I think it is for them to do what they're trying to do. If their die is higher than the total of mine, then they succeed. If not, they do not. And as they progress, if they get a 6 on their die, they will be able to upgrade their skill. And an upgraded skill is more specific, and it's based on whatever they just did, but they get to roll 2d6 for it. And so we progress. So that's the basic idea. But I'm Christiana Ellis. The players we have tonight are Jenny Meltzer.
Hello.
Starla Hutchton.
Bonjour.
And Paul Fisher.
Good evening.
I hesitated because there's a different Paul in my Saturday night game, and my brain suddenly made me unsure if I was going to say the right one or not. I did. It was fine, but that was probably I didn't need to even get into it. But tonight, we're going to still set our story in the Moonshadowed Sea, which, if you are not, if not been following our regular campaign, is a location in the Feywild where the water out in the ocean has been magically transformed so that creatures that normally couldn't breathe water are able to in this location. And the buoyancy is changed so that things that would normally float will sink. And it is also magically enchanted such that it is a place where lost things go. So if you lose something, no matter where in the multiverse you lost it, odds are it might end up here in the Moonshadowed Sea. So we're going to, explore that a little bit and see where that gets us. So obviously, all of you need to very carefully think about the long-term potential of whatever characters you pick. It might be simplest if your characters who are not necessarily long timers in this area, like if you don't know everything already. But we could do that. We could do that too. If you want to be someone who's been there for a while, that is totally cool. We're going to use this as an opportunity to discover new things about this area that might well make it back into our regular campaign. But so for that, have you all decided on your characters?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Who would like to start?
Sure, I'll go. I am going to be Federa Deepwander, a gnome person.
All right. So what's the spelling for that?
Phidera, and then Deep Wander.
So Phinerra.
Phidera.
Oh, Federa. All right. Okay.
I am going to play a male satyr named Dolovan Crownweaver.
Dolovan.
It's Dolevon.
Okay. How about you, Paul?
I am playing Samir Hendershot Strong in the Arm, a long-haired tabaxi male who was raised by dwarves.
Is that Samir?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, so let's get your new name tags on there. And so, of your characters, what's your deal? Are you treasure hunters? Have you been in the Moonshadowed Sea long? What? Tell me about yourselves.
Well,
Well,
these two are my best friends, and they talked me into getting on a ship, even though I can't swim,
Hmm.
and going out here and trying to figure out how to make a fortune. We're smart, we're young, we're capable. We got claws and hooves and teeth and brains, and we figured we'll be running this place pretty shortly.
Well, I don't know about brains, but I was just looking to beat up some new stuff because
Hmm.
that's what gnomes do.
They beat stuff up. They
Yep.
travel the world looking for new things to beat up.
Well, this one does.
Oh well, clearly, very exciting.
obviously, I
Learning
came
new-
here for the ladies.
Woohoo. All right. So, as we open our scene, the three of you have arrived in the Moonshadowed Sea. How long have you been here? Have you just now arrived? Have you been here a week? Have you gotten settled somewhere?
I think we've been here for maybe a week.
Yeah, that sounds about right to
Yeah.
me too.
Okay. So,
But I mean, night, day, it's kind of all bleeds together down here.
so there are three places that you might have found somewhere to stay. You could be staying on a ship still up at the docks above the surface. You could have found a little place to hole up in the shipwrecked village just below the surface, or perhaps you accepted the deal to stay at the Lost and Found Lounge, which is a very fancy place that is apparently free.
Kind of curious. Maybe we should do that. What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
I think we should do
The
that.
less money we spend, the better.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
here to make money, not throw it away.
I think we
Okay.
should read the contract first. I mean, this is a while.
It's
Uh,
true.
So as you read through the contract, I think we need our first roll, right?
All right.
I need you to roll for contract reading, and I'm going to roll 2d6, and you are rolling 1 because you're just starting. This contract is not that complicated as these things go, but it's legalese, so to speak.
Yep. I rolled a 6.
You did. Well, it happens that I rolled 2 6s.
Darn you all to heck, Christiana.
But what that does mean, though, is because you rolled a 6. Hang on, I'm going to actually pull it back up again. This is one of the things that we have talked about in the past, right?
Mhm.
The rule for what does it mean if you get a 6 but you don't so if you rolled the 6 and you do get the new skill,
Right.
and the new skill needs to be specific to higher to what you were just doing, which was contract reading. So how about this? I will let you go ahead and roll the new die.
Okay.
And if you get a 6 again, then maybe you have a chance to beat it.
Fell off. It's a 6.
Is it? Oh my gosh.
No way.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that means that we have a third new skill that is going to you're going to succeed on this, and you're going to be apparently a super duper expert. So we need you start, level 1 would have been contract reading.
Yeah.
Level 2 needs to be more specific than that. And level 3 needs to be even more specific than that. So we need to decide what your level 3 skill is that you have based on your very first roll.
Supreme legalese.
It needs to be super specific. So maybe it needs to actually be Fey contracts related to accommodations.
That's what I was just thinking. Yes.
Okay.
Fey- So, like, the level 2 could just be like Feywild contracts or Fey contracts.
Mm-hmm. So, what
And
you
just-
determine reading this contract that you are supremely expert in by tell us a little bit about how Samir came to be such an expert in this very specific field of study.
Well, being raised by dwarves, he spent a lot of time in uh, pubs, bars, drinking, singing about gold, and bumping his head. And so he went to his parents and said, "Look, like the bar is just too small for me. Why don't you let me dig down uh, and you know put some rooms onto the bar, and we'll make it into an inn, and we'll rent out the room to all of these drunk dwarves who are here singing about gold, and I can dig it all out myself and make it my height, so I feel comfortable." Um, and so he started running the inside of the house while they were running the bar side of the house. And as things expanded, the clientele expanded to more than just the dwarves in the bar, and we started getting some Fey in, and some humans, and a
You
whole
picked it
mix
up
of
along the
different
way.
peoples. And he met a lawyer, and they got along fantastically. And the lawyer traveled back and forth and helped him write his contracts uh, to keep everything in order.
All right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so what you learn about the contract here is that you're expecting there to be some kind of a catch, and there is one kind of, but it's not necessarily what you would expect. You don't become a prisoner or anything, but it does turn out that, like, although you are certainly not expected to pay anything in the realm of coin, it's a little bit like accepting a free vacation from a timeshare company where they have all sorts of amenities and activities for you to participate in that part of the like they sell as a selling point, but the issue is that, like, if you're staying there, they expect you to go to their performances and they expect you to participate in the activities, and that stuff takes so much time that it is honestly difficult to really go and do much else. They are constantly trying to keep you entertained and comfortable and having fun in the hotel and not going anywhere else in the Moonshadowed Sea. And it's clear from the language that they are doing that because they think that's better for you. But it's kind of that whole condescending thing of a lot of people are coming to the Moonshadowed Sea and they're just going to get themselves into trouble. So let's make a nice little place for them to stay. And they stay there for a while, and then they decide that they've had enough and they go home without having gone to the dangerous parts. But they also, it is run by Fae who basically kind of eat that feeling of hospitality and So like when they feel that they have satisfied the customer and made someone have a good time, um, in any way, they enjoy that. That is kind of how that's what they eat, and it's not harmful to you, but they're definitely want it from you, and they're very needy as a result.
And they want to monopolize their time.
Yes. Well, so yeah, basically the issue is that if you stay there, they're not going to ask you for any gold, but they're going to be just on you constantly, trying to get you to come to a show or have, have a nice sauna or hey, have you seen the Blink Turtle tours or, hey, we've got a great concert tonight. We can get you the best seats. And it's just, they won't leave you alone. And they're
This
constantly
sounds like-
just starving for feedback of telling them they've done a good job.
What would be the equivalent to the Hotel California here?
Such a lovely place.
Such a lovely face.
Yeah. So that is the basic deal at the Lost and Found Lodge. Whereas if you go to the Shipwreck Village, nobody brings you food. It's not nearly so nice. You're not pampered and seen to, and there are no amenities, but they also leave you alone.
Probably can't punch anything in the hotel either. I don't think they'd probably enjoy that.
Well, they could probably arrange to find you, to connect you with someone who would be interested in sort of sport fighting. They're sure if you're willing to just to stay, they could arrange something for you. The customer is always right. They're eager to serve.
Nah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, nah.
I want to spend my time making money.
Okay, well then in that case, someone needs to do a roll for find an okay spot to hang out in the Shipwreck Village.
I'll do it.
All right, I'm rolling 1d6. You can roll a 1d6.
Oh my god, I did roll a 6 too. I feel so weird. I was like, I hope I don't roll a 6 because then it'll look like I'm cheated.
That's a lot of sixes so far. So I only rolled a 2. That means you're successful and you get to a level 2 skill. And so that means that your level 2 skill is what? Finding a spot to sleep?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Crash pad.
Yeah. The crash pad skill.
Crash pad radar.
Right.
Crash pad radar. Padar. No, it doesn't work. Anyway, you've got it though. Even if the name is awkward to say. So you all have been here. You're here to you found a spot to lay your heads at night. It probably feels weird because you're slightly buoyant, but not enough to float, and you're also not used to being underwater. But you don't have any trouble breathing. You're gonna still need to be able to make a trade up in the catch up at the docks if you want the food up there, or if you want to buy food from somewhere else. You're gonna still have to make arrangements for it, but you've got a place to stay.
All right.
What all are you trying to do here? Are you looking for treasure or?
So
Sounds like someone's looking for ladies. One is, I'll say, Dolavan, while you found this place in the Shipwreck Village and you weren't so sure about the hotel, the Lost and Found Lodge, you nonetheless heard them advertising that their concert tonight is for sirens to sing, and what they advertise is this is your one and only chance to actually listen to the siren song without any fear of danger, because you're already underwater. There's no ship to sink. They promise they're not going to eat you, so you can actually hear the siren song and see what it actually sounds like.
ooh,
That is
That's-
definitely something that I want to do.
that is a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hear that sirens are like super hot.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you're not staying at the hotel, you do have to buy tickets.
Mm.
All right. Where would? So, is there someplace we can go to ask around about where we would buy the tickets?
Well, I mean, you buy the tickets at the hotel. You just need
Oh, okay, just at the
money
hotel.
for it. Yeah.
Okay.
They
Alright.
have a stage in the basement. That's where the concert happens.
What if we go, like, treasure hunting for
Yeah.
a little bit and see if we can find something to trade for tickets or something?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All
So,
right. Let's
so-
go and hunt some treasure.
yeah, so you make your way from the shipwreck village out first through the shallows, past the Council of Contracts, which is a great big fancy building that is populated by shallow fae and sea elves, and that is where you have heard that they have a whole operation for any mortals who get themselves stuck in Fae contracts that they would rather be free of. You can get legal services there. And they have, court cases and people who are willing to help negotiate through those sorts of things. They also have a lot of parties, fancy parties there. But you make your way past that into the piles, which is so named because they are literally just these towering above you piles of, at first glance, junk. At second and third glance, still junk. But things that have been lost and have brought here. And at first, you might wonder why are they in piles? Do they, come in certain spots? And as you watch, you see above you, from the surface, fading into existence, is an old boot with the heel kind of torn off. And it kind of drifts down from the surface, and it starts to land where it would be on the path between some of these piles. And you see a weird little shellfish creature the size of a small dog. It's a little bit like there's a Pokemon. I actually don't know what it's named, but it's a little bit like if an octopus had like a hermit crab shell. And so it's maybe like a little bit like a nautilus or something like that. So it has little tentacles that come out of a hard shell, but you see one of those emerge from behind one of the piles and reach out and snag that boot and then carefully place it on the pile. And as you look around, you see that there are actually several of those all around that seem to be maintaining the piles, things that just drift down. But you also here and there see you see people digging through the piles. You also see people who are constantly watching the surface, looking for anything that will appear that might be more valuable so they can try to snag it first.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask one of the people
Yeah?
that's digging through there. I'm gonna like walk up and ask and be like, "Do you need like a permit to dig in there, or anybody can just dig?"
Yeah, you need a permit. You better go get a permit or else you'll get in trouble.
I would like to
You want to
roll
to tell if this guy's lying.
About the
Yeah.
BS.
I'm rolling 1d6.
5.
I got a 2, so that's a success. Yeah, he is lying because he sees you as competition.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll just go and get that permit.
Yeah, you do that. Better go to the Council of Contracts and, they'll help you do it. And happens really fast, but just make sure you sign something.
Uh-huh. All right, and I'll walk back and be like, "You don't need a permit." These people are nuts. Just saying.
You do notice as Dolavan comes back, Samir and Fidera, you notice that that person that Dolavan asked, who is, let's say they are half orc, wearing sort of very ratty, like waiter pant overalls with no shirt. And again, completely submerged. So the waiter overalls are frankly pretty awkward to move around in, but that's what he's wearing. And he is watching suspiciously because Dolavan does not seem to be going back
Going
to
to
get a
get
permit.
that permit.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw him a really dirty look.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I will punch you.
Roll for intimidation.
Oh, punch you with my
This
eyes.
is not gonna go well. See, I imagine her as a gnome with just like really huge arms.
Oh, yeah? Nice.
Oh, I rolled a 6.
Wow. Okay. So I rolled a 6 as well, but I on the same basis that I allowed with Paul, which I think is fair, is that since you're going to get a level 2 skill now, I will let you roll the second one, which will basically let you beat my 1/6. But we have to say that what's your level 2? You know, it's not just intimidation, but
Uh,
Eye punching.
you talking to me? No.
yeah, it could be that. Yeah. Level 2 of you talking to me. Okay. And yeah, those rules are so simple, but except that they just, I guess they say if the sum of your roll is higher than the opposing roll, the thing you wanted to happen happens. And so I always feel like it should say what there is a tie, but I mean, I guess the rule is it does need to be higher. But this is how we're playing. So it's all good. So basically, you give him the you talking to me look, and he suddenly like takes a step back, and he's got like this little shovel that he's suddenly kind of clutching nervously, and he kind of turns and scoots back around one of the piles to get out of line of sight.
All right, let's find a pile. Like, crack my
All
neck.
right.
All right.
All right. So you're just gonna pick a pile and just start digging in with your bare hands?
Are they all about the same height?
No, they vary quite a bit, but I should be clear that the smallest of them is like 10 feet tall, and the largest are like 40 feet tall.
Just trying to figure out if more stuff in the pile might mean they're older, which means they've probably been picked through. A smaller pile might be newer, but also might have been picked through.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
You do notice that a little further into this region where the piles are, you see that there is kind of a larger central pile that has lots of, like different peaks coming out of the top of one bigger mound. But you also see that someone comes out of what looks like a little cellar door that seems to tunnel down underneath it.
Should we go to the big pile?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're learning.
Stuff's more likely to get lost in a big pile.
It's reasonable.
Yeah? I
Yeah.
mean, you tell me. You heading
big
heading
pile.
down for that little cellar door entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would like I'm not thinking about this too much. I'd probably just like dive in wherever and just start throwing things.
All right. I mean, you guys you all tell me what you're doing. Like if you're just starting to dig through the nearest pile, go ahead and roll for pile digging.
All right.
I'm rolling 3d6. I'll let you know.
All right.
Another 6.
One die for pile digging.
Yep.
A 5.
I rolled a 13. So, So I think what you discover pretty quickly is that first of all, your bare hands are not optimal for this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of solid stuff in there and then a lot of mud kind of caked between things. And some of the stuff at the base of these piles has been wedged in pretty thoroughly, and there's like it's weight supporting. And so I think what you actually do is you find, you kind of get your hands around something that seems like, oh, that feels like sturdy, like maybe that's metal. It almost has kind of like a little handle on it, and you pull it out, sending a small cascade of other junk down on top of you, like in a movie where someone has too much stuff in the top shelves of their closet and it all falls down on their heads. Like that. So nothing that injures you, but you make a big mess and you're standing around your own little tiny miniature pile of junk, and you find that you are now holding a beat up old copper tea kettle.
Okay.
It looks like it would be worth approximately 2 copper.
All right.
It's got a hole in it. I mean, other than the ones that a tea kettle would normally have.
I mean, it's copper. It's got to be worth a few coppers. You know, somebody could repair this.
Also, you discover promptly that a couple of these little weird octopus shellfish things start like swimming over and start grabbing the stuff like that had fallen down around you, and as you see them grabbing the stuff and start trying to rebuild the stack, they're using whatever spare tentacles that aren't currently grabbing a thing to just lightly smack you, like bip, 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 bip. Like you're in their way.
I get out of their way.
One of them, it has a beak, but it makes a sort of like, it's like sticks a tongue out at you through the beak and makes a sort of noise.
Brawl thing. It
Uh,
smacked me.
Are you want to roll to talk to the thing?
No, I'm talking to Starla's character.
Oh, okay.
She wants to beat things up.
It's
I'm not.
got a
getting
lot
it.
of arms.
Mhm.
And I mean, you did make a mess. You kind of deserved it. I would have punched it too.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
They're also
Also-
as big as you.
Well, I mean, that has not ever stopped me before.
Yeah. I guess I said a small dog, so maybe they're a little smaller than you.
Mm,
I was imagining
I
it.
don't wanna punch it though.
Yeah, let's say they're like 30 pounds, 30 pounds worth of whatever they are.
Roll for Pokemon Punch.
Yeah.
I think if another one takes a swing at him, I would probably like kind of tackle
Omanite.
him away instead of punching the
No.
instead of punching the thing.
Omastar. Omastar is the Pokemon that these things look like. Someone wants to look that up. That's Omastar, but copyright friendly.
Pokepunch.
Why are you just standing there getting punched? Get out of the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're a bundle of help today.
Yeah, it's clear that they are trying to just rebuild the pile that you made a mess of.
All right. Well, I need something for my delicate paws. This is not working for me.
Maybe you need to get a shovel. Is there a place around here that like sells shovels or that you
can I dig for a
borrow
shovel?
from?
Yeah, you can dig for a shovel. Roll a d6 to dig for a shovel.
4.
I rolled an 8 because I rolled 3d6. So I think that you are starting to dig in a different pile, and at this point, you discover, perhaps a little bit belatedly, that similar to what Samir had with the pile kind of sort of mudslide collapsing down, is that this one is just starting to loom over you. And you realize, like, as you've dug out part of it, it's just really starting to lean. And you get the feeling that if you continue to dig, the whole thing is just going to fall on you. And that's probably going to be a bit more than just the top shelf of a closet.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. Maybe if I went on the other side of the pile, it would balance out.
Yeah, could be. You see one of the little shellfish, giving you an eye.
Can I give it my you talking to me look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
I'm rolling 2d6, but you also have 2d6 to roll.
7 total.
All right. Well, I got what did 8. Sorry. So I think what happens is that as you're given it that look, you suddenly realize, like, where it had come around from, 5 more of them kind of come around, and they're all looking at you now.
And this is not worth it. Kind of sniff and what? Walk away.
So you
find a
do
shovel.
see people who are, working on some of these piles, and some of them have climbed up the piles so that they're digging through at like a higher level. Some of them have apparently just been willing to go ahead and make a big mess of the pile, even though, they get some of these, these octopus shellfish. So they're claspids is what they're called, really. So that's what they're, and just dealing with that, knocking over the pile makes them mad. But some people are just doing that as their own way of digging through. But you also do see people coming and going through that cellar door entrance.
So to clarify mechanics' sake, because I didn't succeed on that challenge, then I get a skill for it?
No, only if
No? How
all
does
the
that work?
dice you roll are 6s.
Okay.
Oh, but if you fail, yes, you get a 1 XP. And then
Okay.
for you, what you can, so I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that part. If you fail a roll, you get 1 XP. And then you can later use the XP to change a die into a 6. And per the original rules, for advancement purposes only. But I think what we have established is that if that's enough to make it a 6, then you do succeed. However, it won't be like when you roll a 6 and then get to roll the second die. It'll just be, no extras, but you can bump it to a 6. Does that make
we
sense?
should call this searching for stuff. We should call it pile diving.
Pile diving? Sure.
Mhm.
No, that's good.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. I would like to mirthful leap a little ways higher up the pile, so that way I'm not as likely to topple stuff over onto myself.
okay, sure. Roll to mirthful leap.
I did not, because I rolled a 1.
Oh boy, I only rolled a 2, but you still. So I think what happens is that you do your leap, but you are not used to the strange buoyancy here, and you kind of overshoot a little bit. You leap in and you go higher than you actually expected. So you miss where you were hoping to land and miss the pile altogether. And now you see yourself careening back down again on this ballistic trajectory, about to land right on the head of another treasure hunter who seems to be some kind of a seaweed man.
Look out below!
Roll to land gracefully. I'm rolling
5.
2d6. And that's a 10. So you get another XP, but you collapse into a heap on top of this seaweed man, and he says, "Hey, what's the meaning of this? Watch where you're going."
Sorry.
I was about to find something great, and you've cost me that opportunity. I ought to pluck all your fur out one at a time.
Hey, Federa.
Yeah, I'm gonna amble over with my big old arms. Is there
Yeah,
a problem?
I'm heading over there too with my law books.
Who's talking to me?
Is this your friend? You should tell them not to jump on people's heads while they're trying to look for treasure.
Well, maybe you should be more observant.
Well, I was being observant of the junk. I'm not observant for people to come out of the from the surface like they're, you know. Are you a lost piece of treasure yourself? And what's it to you, Shorty?
This is my friend here. You coming at me?
I'm coming at anyone who's trying to get in the way of my finding my treasure.
Look, we don't want your junk pile. We got plenty of our own junk over here.
Yeah, you do keep digging over there. That's where you'll find the crap. Just like the rest of you are. You deserve the crap. Fight. So you should go dig where the crap is, 'cause you're crappy.
Your mom.
My mother was a saint. And they're gonna attack you. So
Yeah, definitely gonna
roll
punch this
to
guy.
defend against seaweed.
Oh, I got a 6.
Wow. Okay. So you
Second roll.
you have what, plant defense, or just, how about just taking a punch?
Let's see. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they fall upon you with their weird sort of tendril arms, and there's a lot of sort of awkward kind of slapping of like leaves and branches, but you are able to withstand this without taking any real damage. And
I
so
want to punch him in the face.
okay, so go ahead and roll to punch now.
Oh, that didn't go well.
Okay.
A 2.
All right. Well, I got an 8. And so I think what you discover is that by the same virtue of them having a little bit of trouble actually doing damage to you, because they seem to be made of various bits of floaty seaweed sort of vaguely tangled together, it's hard to actually find any real substance to punch them. You kind of like, it's kind of like trying to punch leaves on a tree. They just kind of, they're too light. They just move out of the way. You don't do any damage to them. But now they're starting to tangle themselves all around you.
Need some pruning shears.
You called.
Here, kitty, kitty.
Yeah.
I give a hiss and a yowl, and I extend my claws, and I am going to work on my bonsai skills.
Nice. Roll for bonsai.
Bonsai pruning.
Yeah.
I got a 4.
Okay. Well, I got a 5. I think you discover that as soon as you've got your hands in and around this the leaves and stems of this weird guy's strange plant body, you start feeling really chill. Like just, I don't know, something about this guy's vibe or his smell or something on the leaves is just like, this is fun, man. This is good. Yeah. You're just like, what were we doing again? Yeah. So that's not going well. You're getting tangled up in seaweed. whereas
So
what's Dolavan up to?
I would like to crumple the seaweed guy up and
Okay.
throw him away.
All right.
So
Roll for landscaping.
5.
All right. I got a 9 because this guy's a little tougher. I'm rolling 2d6 for his stuff. So I think as you are attempting to sort of gather him up, he is just like he is managing to wrap himself around your arms. So like he's just tangling all around you, and you're now sort of like caught with Federa in this strange little like morass of animated seaweed.
He's
Want
not
to
getting a
bite
lot
him.
of treasure diving going.
You want to bite him? Is that what you
I'm gonna
said?
bite him.
Okay. Bite the seaweed. He's probably not going to have the same chemical effect as you on you.
5.
All right. Well, even on 2d6, I just rolled a 4. So I think
Yes.
I think that you managed to you get like one really thick stem, but you just bite it clean in half, and then all of a sudden, all of the rest of the vines wrapping around you and Dolavan just immediately kind of like seize and then kind of go limp and then just sort of like drift away. And now there's no more strength in any of it.
Cool. What do we call that one?
Eating your veggies.
oh, yeah, nap. I need a nap. I'm just gonna curl up over here.
Did he have any stuff?
He had a shovel.
Yes.
He had a shovel, and he had kind of a net that had been made into like a bag, like so that it it had an opening and you could put stuff in it, but it's like a mesh sack, so to speak. And he had a couple of things in it, although at a quick glance it's hard to tell if there's any value in it. You would need to roll to appraise probably.
All right. Who's the smart one here?
We don't know.
By the way, the seaweed branches are now just drifting away in pieces. He seems dead.
I will roll to appraise.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to appraise.
6.
All right. So you've got a keen eye for junk. Junk pricing. Okay, so for junk pricing, you discover that the stuff that he's got, it's not going to change anybody's life, but it's enough to probably get by a couple of days worth of meals for the three of you.
Or some tickets to a concert?
Yeah, maybe. I think it would be enough for one ticket to a concert.
I'd rather have food, honestly. But
Yeah, it's a big bag. We could stuff more
Mhm.
stuff in it.
y'all want to check out the pit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing
Okay.
else, maybe there's some more people we can beat up and take their stuff. I guess that's just, how they roll down here.
It's working out so far.
So, what you're heading for where you saw that, like the cellar entrance?
Mhm.
Okay. So you head in that direction and make your way down into there, and you find that there's apparently all sorts of like a small network of tunnels that have been carved out underneath this big mound, and it is kind of almost like a little bit of a like a plaza sort of area where like people like take short breaks there or hang out or go through the stuff that they've got or chat. It's a little, and there seems to be like a couple of little like market stall sorts of things there. But the first thing that you see in the center there is that first guy, the half orc that you scared away, standing with several other bigger scavengers. And as you come in, he says, "They're the ones. And hey, wait a minute." And they look, and you've got a piece of seaweed just like stuck in your armor, and they go, They killed Kelpie Grammer.
I will casually flick it off of my shoulder. Be like, what?
Roll you talking to me, although this time you're rolling against 3.
Oof. Another 7.
Okay. Unfortunately, I rolled 9. Um, so
Can I use one of my XP to bump?
If
No,
you
wait, it wouldn't matter because it's only 1 XP, so it would still be.
you could turn one of your 2d6s into a 6. Is that enough to make it beat 9?
I had a 3 and a 4. Well, or yeah, a 3 and a.
Yeah, if you make the 3 into a 6, then
Yeah,
would be
then it'd be a
10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. You can do that if you use the XP. And that also gives you a level 3 intimidation.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. I think the level 3 is I don't see anyone else here. Okay. So I think that the gang of them look at each other, look over at you, and they're kind of whispering amongst each other. It's like, I mean, if they killed Kelpie, I mean, I don't even know what that like. They're clearly troublemakers. I don't know what they're here for. Maybe we better yeah, you know what? Let's yeah let's look for someone else to help us out with this. And they vamoose. They run out the other way because there's apparently like 3 or 4 entrances to this.
As they're walking out, I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, you call it a day."
Rolled a trash talk.
We're just making friends.
I rolled another 6.
Yeah. All right. So after post hoc trash talk. Like after the fact,
Yeah.
So that was a success. I rolled a 4. So yeah. So I think that they had been looking back, trying to give you the stink eye a little bit, but then when you say that, they're like, oh.
Man. They're kicking rocks.
Yeah, and so I think that you see that there's a humanoid like tuna, like with a big old fish like head, but like arms and legs, who seems to be running at kind of some sort of a food stand where he's got this special little box that seems to be superheating the water inside, and so he's cooking little bits of unidentified flesh, probably fish of some kind, but unclear, on like little skewers, and so he is selling those, and he's looking over at you and just says, "Boy, for newcomers, you're sure in a hurry to make friends."
They started it.
I got all the friends I need.
Well, good for you then, I guess. I don't suppose you and your friends are interested in some food to, tide you over or until, they get all of their friends to come back and kill you in your sleep.
Yeah, I could probably eat. We have to still trade in all the stuff we got though. So.
Oh, yeah? Well, I do accept barter.
I have right here this fine example of a copper kettle. I mean, there's probably 40 copper coins worth of copper in it right here. And since you have that little magic box that makes things hot,
Mm-hmm.
you could probably, I don't know, melt it down into coins or a big old lump of copper to sell. But it's copper, and it's a kettle with it. a hole.
Roll to salesmanship. Although this is a guy who earns a living in a place where people scavenge junk for a living, so he's pretty sharp. I'm rolling 3d6, but you have a shot.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 13. So he says, looking at that kettle, I'd say it's more like maybe 8 or 9 coins worth once you actually smelt it down. And it'll actually cost you more to rent a smelter to melt it down to make the coins than the coins would be worth. So I'm afraid what you have got is a broken teapot.
But if you have lots of copper around, you could add this to your copper collection until such time as you have amassed
How
enough
about
to make-
this? How about this? Every 4 or 5 times I use my little cooking box here, I have to scrape out the little bits that fall off of the skewers. I'll give you that for it.
Is there something in particular that you're looking for?
Stuff that has value.
Hmm.
You know,
Let's
I
see.
mean, all sorts of things come through here. I'm mostly looking for things that, this is how things work here, right? You find something that you can trade to someone else, and then I trade, like you trade me something, and then I'm going to try to go and trade someone else for it, and everyone tries to improve their trades. It's a whole thing. You've heard that story about someone who buys an aircraft carrier with a paper clip or something?
It's an aircraft carrier.
I have no
Hey,
idea.
hey, the forgot your name.
Oh,
My
you,
mesh bag.
Yeah,
I'm-
her. Yeah, I was like, is there something in there that I don't
Yeah.
know? You might want to.
I'm gonna dig through the mesh bag
mhm.
with my junk pricing skills. See if
All
I
right.
can pull out something appropriately
Sure.
priced for food exchange.
Sure. Yeah, I think that what you've got, you find what looks like it's like a tiny little sort of snuff box looking thing. Like it's not made of precious metals, but it looks like if you cleaned all the mud off of it, that it would certainly be functional as a nice little metal box to hold, whatever you might want to put in a little metal box.
All right.
And that's
Um,
enough for a skewer of unidentified animal flesh cooked.
Here you go. How about this?
Happy to do business with you. And he takes it and gives you a skewer that has like 4 chunks on it.
I will take one chunk and pass it on.
I will take a chunk.
I'm afraid I may have come across a little hostile or overstating the case a little bit better when I said that those guys were going to come back and try to kill you. I don't know that that's true. I mean, they're around here, but they're a little more experienced than newcomers like yourselves, but I don't know that they really have anyone who's going to be willing to just take you on quite like that. But I would warn you that, there's sort of an etiquette around these parts, and you're certainly violating that, and that's going to attract the attention of the Lady Despair eventually if you keep it up.
Well, she sounds pleasant.
Well,
Is she
can be for a while.
hot?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe attracting her attention is a good idea.
Well, I suppose it depends on your perspective, I suppose. I mostly try to stay out of her business myself, but that tends to be the attitude of people who stick around here for longer. People who get involved with the Lady Despair's business tend to not hang around very long.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like something we want to get tangled up in. So, as someone who's clearly, been around here a while, where's the good stuff? You know what? Could you point us in a direction?
Well, I want to actually just for a moment put that back at you. Okay, let me have you take a moment and imagine yourself in my shoes, and ask yourself, if I knew where you could go to just get the good stuff, do you think that I would be selling fish chunks?
Well, I doubt it, but because you've got like the piles that are right out here. Is there like a down deeper like?
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the stuff where like it's it's hard to get something good, but things do show up for every so often, and if you're fast enough, you can snag them, or if you're willing to just go through the piles, occasionally you'll find stuff that's worthwhile. I mean, the people who make a go of it here in the piles are, the long haulers, right? Like, you don't find something new in an hour, but what you do is you make a profit over the course of a week, if you follow me. But there are the vents, which are, go a little deeper, but they're more dangerous down there. You're going into deeper water. There's more other things than scavengers down there. And so, because it's more dangerous, people don't go down there as much. You don't have quite so much competition for the more valuable treasures, but, you're just taking a different kind of risk instead.
Would that risk also entail the Titan?
Well, no, not in the vents, but how long have y'all been in town?
A couple of days.
About a week.
Like a week? I don't know.
I
Time's
would
weird.
I would like each of you to roll 1d6 for resisting the call.
Two.
6.
Okay.
One.
All right. So I rolled a 4. So the two of you that failed that, you dreamed last night of a voice telling you that everything you've dreamed for can be found in the depths. Federa with a 6 on your resisting the call, it can be something like you know new psychic connection. Who dis?
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. So I mean, you can just like psychic resistance if you want. So I think you'll probably all find that there's a sort of pull that tries to draw people down deeper towards where the Titan is, and
Yeah, but that's probably where all the good treasure is.
well, yeah, maybe. But what I have found is that in theory, what the treasure hunters are looking to do is find the good treasure and then come back out with it, right? Whereas most of the people who go down looking for the Titan kind of maybe they find great treasure there, but they don't come back out with it.
Maybe there's a cool place to live down there.
Well, there's definitely a cool place to kind of be a zombie, to worship a Titan that's asleep and doesn't have any awareness of your presence. I mean, that doesn't sound like fun to me, but there's a lot of people who seem to enjoy it once they start.
Have you seen it?
I don't go down there because it's kind of spooky. But if you keep going through past the vents pass through the kelp forest, and you can get through the go past Lady Despair's place, and that's where they've got their temple down there.
Can you go and visit the temple, but come back, or like once you go there, you're good?
Well,
Like
no, I mean I've been there, but like I said, it's spooky. So I don't like it. I'm not saying you can't go there. I'm saying I didn't like it there. I mean, maybe it's your thing to go down there and see a whole bunch of people who's used to be, vital and interested, exciting people, and now they're just kind of like sitting around letting themselves starve to death while they stare into a void. I
Maybe
mean,
they've got stuff they don't need anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you how to live your own lives. I'm just telling you, I thought it was spooky.
I mean, it doesn't sound pleasant. Don't get me wrong.
No, does not sound pleasant.
Well, in any case, unless you're looking to buy some more fish chunks, I would just as soon not be talking to you if any of the other scavengers who you've made enemies of come back.
Fair enough.
All right? But, no harm done to me, so good luck to you.
How were the fish chunks?
Roll 2 stomach fish
Fishy.
chunks.
5.
You, I think. Well, so here's a question. This is a very important question for Dolan. Do you like fish?
Not really.
They're all right. They're fish.
It's food.
Yeah. But
like
it's also like I think that there is just this is a fish guy selling fish chunks, but then again, like you've met mammals who sold mammal chunks, so is it really that different?
I mean, I just took a bite out of some kelp guy, so like the fish is probably an upgrade.
Sushi.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to check out
vents?
vents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, you head out of this little sort of market mall place underneath the big pile, and head down where you can see these paths kind of sloping down. And you realize that you're going downhill fairly steeply, meaning that the water that you're in is considerably deeper. And so far, the magic has not given you any. You're not sensing the increased pressure or temperature or anything, but you do have a sense nonetheless that you can't really see the surface anymore. It is a bit darker, even though the water itself kind of gives a glow to the things on the on the floor where you are, but the water above you is darker. And you see that the piles continue as you go this way, but what you start to see is that there are these fissures in the ground where you can go much deeper and deeper and deeper in there, and some of them have what look like heated water coming out of them or bubbles coming out of another one, and so on. But these are basically just like fissures and crevasses in the ground that you would need to like literally climb down into to go into. There's piles too, and you see people among the piles, but it also just seems a little bit more haphazard. Like if you knocked over a pile here, it might knock you into a hole that would be difficult to climb out of.
How far down does this path go? Like, can we just keep going down the path, or do we have to go down a fissure to get deeper?
No. So the paths kind of go out among a lot of these fissures, but if you kind of stay on this part of the ocean floor, you can kind of pass through this little region that seems to be what they call the vents, and you can see that there is what does look very much like a forest that you might see on the surface, except that it is just made from long, like tall seaweed.
I wonder if that's any of that guy's ancestors.
I'm going to sample the seaweed as I go. Just
Okay.
In case I get lucky.
All right.
Because I could make a mint back home if this affects the family the way it affects me. Oh man, the dwarves
Okay.
are gonna love this.
All right. To roll for sample the seaweed.
4.
Okay. Yeah, you grab a leaf of this stuff, and you kind of like smell at it and sort of like taste it a little bit, and this does not act like it is sentient the way the other one did, and you feel like that's maybe what's missing. is that this feels more like ordinary seaweed. It doesn't have the same effect. But maybe if you found more sentient ones, they would.
That's really dark.
I'm not really going to wipe out an entire species of kelp people just so that.
Well, he thinks that about a whole species. You
Right.
just need another guy.
Yeah, and that guy was super rude. Like, what if his mom's also rude?
Yeah, how
He said she
dare
was
he
a
be
saint,
underneath the
but-
place where you fell on him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, was that a success?
No.
No? Okay, so I get another experience.
Yeah. Yeah, so you do find, though, as you start making your way in, that there's occasionally like a current blows through like a breeze, and it's actually colder water, and you feel the seaweed swirling around you. And then pretty soon, the path that you're walking, you realize that there's kind of no more path anymore. It's kind of come to just sort of a little dead end, where all of this densely growing seaweed is just sort of all around you like a wall.
Was
Like,
there any treasure in this?
You can kind of push through it, right? Like it's not like rigid like a wall. It just, you can't see really anything anymore, and there's no path to walk.
I'm small. I don't weigh much. Could I climb one of these kelp trees? Get a view?
We could certainly roll for it.
Kelp climbing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a 6 again. What the heck?
All right. Well, I got an 8, so roll your second d6 to see if you beat 8.
Nope, only a 1.
Okay, so it's still good. You are going to get your level 2 skill, which is to say, it is seaweed scaling. Level 1 was kelp climbing, seaweed scaling. But I think what happens is that you discover, the taller you get in them, it just like it starts sort of leaning in to where it's just dense around all of the others, and you find yourself just sort of like surrounded by it, and so you can't really see anything, so by the time you get to the top of one, it sort of sags enough that you're below the level of where all the others are, so you can't really see anything past them, but you're kind of up there, in them. Whereas the other two of you, I think down on the ocean floor, noticed that, wait a minute, the path we just came in isn't there anymore either.
Interesting. We could probably just wander around in here until we find our way out.
I'll slide back down as that wasn't helpful, so.
Yeah.
Is there any like little pieces of treasure sticking out inside, like on the floor?
Sure, well, look for treasure.
Yeah.
Nope. That was a 1.
I think that you're kind of poking around looking for something, on the ocean floor, and you see something that looks shiny for a second, so you kind of follow it over for a little bit, but then like once you actually get there, it's like, wait, I know I saw something glint in the light, and now I can't find it. But then when you kind of turn around, it looks like you're separated from the others and surrounded by seaweed, and you don't see them anymore. And the rest, so Samir and Federa, you just saw Dolavan kind of push into the seaweed like entering a cornfield, and after going a few feet in there, you just can't see her anymore, and now you're not sure where she went or where he went. I guess Dolavan's he.
Okay. Let's stay together and see
Too late.
if we can go find him.
Follow that satyr.
All right.
I'm gonna call out from where I am. Guys, I can't see you anymore.
So I think that Samira and Federa, you hear that, but the thing that's disorienting is you hear guys from one direction, and then I can't see you anymore from the other way.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna kind of casually like grab a handful of furs, like stay close.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and you can roll to track.
All right. Two.
Hmm.
Double my last roll.
Yeah, good job. You fail. The two of you manage to kind of push through, and you're looking around, but you're finding yourself just now increasingly surrounded by all of this dense, tall, floating seaweed that's sort of like drifting around you, and you don't find Dolavan. Dolavan, go ahead and make another roll to resist the call. I'm rolling 2d6 now because you already failed once.
I want to use one of my points to make it a 6.
Okay.
So 6.
I actually rolled 2 ones, so you were probably
nice.
okay. You know what? If you don't want to have used the XP in that case, like if your 1d6 would
I
have.
rolled a 3.
Okay, so that would have succeeded in this rare case.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't want to have used the XP, that's all right.
All right.
I called that skill New Brain Who Dis.
New brain, who dis? Yeah.
New
Yeah.
brain. Who
Yeah.
dis? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
my
you
skill.
could still do that if you want to use the XP. But in any case, yeah, so you are feeling kind of like a vague whispering in your awareness, but you're able to ignore it for now because you're looking for your friends. But I think, Samir and Federa, you're not having any luck. But I think, Federa, you do hear a strange sort of whispering, first from one direction and then another, and saying, Kelpie was our brother. You killed him.
I don't necessarily want to provoke an attack in the seaweed forest, but also
It's you. That's what you do. Your character.
yeah.
See, I'm not sure the intimidating look works here because who are you even looking at, right?
Right. So, okay, so instead I'm just going to be like whatever and grab my friend here and just keep on marching through.
Okay, roll to
I'm
ignore
scared.
ghostly voices. Actually, I'll let you roll 2d6 for like with the psychic resistance thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Another 4.
Okay.
So 8
yeah,
total.
you succeed. So yeah, those voices are not bothering you. The seaweed seems to be good at making it hard to find each other, but it's otherwise not interfered. So go ahead and roll to track again.
All right. 6.
All right. Nice. So what's your level 2 tracking ability? You guys are rolling a lot of 6s tonight.
Satyr searching.
Yeah.
Yes,
Satyr searching.
Satyr
There you go.
searching.
So you're level 2 expert at tracking Dolavan specifically. Okay. Yeah. So I
get
think
lost a lot.
Yeah. So I think that you do manage to kind of push through, and then you end up bumping right into Dolavan's butt.
Oof. Oh my gosh, there you guys are. I was so scared. I was here all by myself.
Oh, we are definitely not here all by ourselves.
Did
You
I hear the
will-
voices?
No. But you
Okay.
do now though when they say, and you all three of you hear, it's like, you will wander this place until you die like our brother.
I would like to
technically he
use.
wasn't wandering. He was digging through garbage.
But he died, and that's the part where you would be like him. The part where
I
you
would
die.
like to use my level 2 trash talk
Yeah?
to say, well, you're gonna die when we set you all on fire.
We're underwater. Good luck with that.
Magical fire.
All right, well, roll your 2d6.
Oh, I rolled 2 6s.
Whoa!
I shit you not. One of them almost fell off the table, but I did.
Nice, yeah. So I only rolled a 10, and with 2 6s, you get to make this a level 3. So your post hoc trash talk is now
My
includes.
words will destroy you.
Okay, sure. All of a sudden, you hear kind of whispering again. It's like, wait, can that happen? Magical fire? Does that? I don't know. Maybe they can. I don't know. We haven't seen anyone do the. I don't know. Is it like, they did? Well, don't set magical fires, or will,
Open the path.
Okay, but your guilt will haunt you forever. And then the path opens and you see pass through there.
I find a random piece of seaweed in my teeth and it's kind of gross. Ugh.
You vaguely hear some angry whispering, and you look back, and there's one particular stalk of seaweed that is saying, "No, I want to do it. I want to do it." And the other stalks of seaweed are like holding them back. It's like, "No, we don't know what they're capable of."
She'll eat you.
No, I mean they've let you go. But there was apparently one of those stalks of seaweed was upset and had to be restrained by the others. So you find yourself in a new sort of area that's kind of got a lot of like coral reefs in it, and hold on one moment. Let me I have to see if I can find this image that I'm looking for. Oops. There's like some coral reefs, and you see a strange little, like a house made of a little bunch of little dome shapes. And I think that all three of you need to roll for heebie-jeebies.
Four.
Okay. So I rolled a 4, so I think in this case that rolling a 4 is a failure. So Federa is not spooked by any sort of dumb old house, but Samira and Dolavan, you look at this place and you're just like, oh, okay, that's like real deal evil. That's not like creepy voices that don't do anything. Like, there's bad news in that house. But the path that would go further and deeper does go past it.
We keep going.
Yeah, we're not here to bother anybody. We're just passing through.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine. Do you need me to hold your hand?
Yes.
So I think that all three of you now need to you're resisting the call again.
So do I get to roll 2 for that?
Yeah,
I have no
if you
brain
use
who
your
dis-
yeah.
So I'm still just rolling 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 5 and a 6.
Okay, so that's going to succeed.
You got a 2.
Okay, all right, and
I got 3.
okay. Didn't roll 2? You got 3 with 2
With 2.
Okay, yeah. So Samir and Dolavan, you are definitely feeling this is the right thing. We are going to the place where we're going to find everything that we need. This is this is what you were meant to do, is go this way. Federa, you're just like, huh? What? Did someone say something?
We don't even need the concert tickets.
So
Yeah.
since
There are
I
going to
got a
be
6, that
siren
means
stairs.
that means I get another point
No,
in that?
you have to get all sixes. So
Oh,
if
all
you're
sixes.
rolling
Okay.
2, you have to get 2
Cool.
sixes.
So close.
Yeah. So I think, though, that as you are making your way past that house, the door opens and a beautiful woman, you know, just sort of looks out at you. She's got like an apron on, like she's got a nice little dress, it's like she was just making cookies, underwater cookies somehow, and just said, "Well, it has been some time since people have come my way, especially people so new in town. Won't you come on in for some refreshments and we can chat about, where you are, who you are, where you've come from?"
Dolavan has
No,
like
no, no,
those
no, 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 no.
cartoon eyes, like just berugaing out of his face.
My
that's
ears
a good
are flat
idea, y'all.
against my head.
I mean,
I'm gonna start walking towards her.
Well, we shouldn't split up, dude. I don't like this. But
This is
I
what I
think.
came here for.
And in fact, actually, I think Dolavan, you sort of blink your eyes a little bit and you realize, wait, did you think she was in just kind of a cozy, cookie making dress, but she's actually looks like she's maybe dressed up to go out on the town. Very slinky dress that she's
Ooh.
wearing, actually. She's got pretty nice makeup on too. Yeah.
I'm going to a show later. Do you wanna come?
Oh, you're going to the Siren concert?
Yeah.
I've been before, but it's always a treat. You know, if you want to come on inside, we can talk a
No.
little bit about. Oh well, I'm talking to your satyr friend here. If you don't want to come inside, that's fine. But I don't think you speak for your friends, do you?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
I'm gonna start like I'm going.
I'd say roll to speak for your friends against
All right.
3d6 here.
I got a 4.
I got an 8. So, yeah, I think that you find, even as you kind of try to summon a little bit of a wellspring of like courage and authority to speak against this enchantment that she seems to be wielding, sounds like Dolvan is heading on up the walk to go to this
I
little
mean,
house.
look, man, this is what they do. This is what they're here for. I don't really want to be a third and fourth wheel, but also a little. I'm not. I don't think we should leave him alone.
I think we should stop him.
I don't want to punch my friends.
Punch him. It'll
by
make
the-
him wake up.
So I should point out that at this point, unless you are attempting to physically restrain them, Dolavan is going to be getting to this house
I'm
imminently.
going to physically restrain him.
Okay, are you physically resisting, Dolavan?
Heck yeah.
Okay, so roll against one another then.
All right.
I rolled a 6.
Ooh.
I rolled
I
a
will
1.
take a picture.
Okay, so how does that look when you are you cannot
I'm
be grappled?
Holding on to his
Do I
to
have
his
tail?
Tail.
shoulders.
Yeah,
and
onto
he's
my
just
tail.
dragging me
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah.
I don't even feel
through the
it.
mud.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of us came here for something. Like,
Well, does that mean that you're did where you come from not have such a thing as manners, or or etiquette? You're so busy trying to look for whatever it is that you can't come in and talk for a while?
Look, she's so nice.
He's going to eat you.
No, no,
What?
no. That's
The
I
way
think
you're
that's a bit
Oh,
presumptive.
no.
I've
Oh.
had way worse things happen to me than that.
I want to see where this goes. Thank you kindly for your hospitality.
So she comes down and looks at you, Samir, and says, "So, Samir, is it? I want to assuage your fears." And she kind of like kneels down because you realize as you have gotten a little closer, she is taller than she looked at first. She's like maybe 7-8 feet tall. As she like as you like the size of this house is somehow bigger than you thought from a distance. And as you get there, but she kind of sort of bends down to kind of go to caress your cheek a little bit. And I want you to roll to stay scared. So that's going to be 1d6. Are you hear me, Paul?
Oh, for me, I thought.
Yes.
it was
No.
for
You.
Demi.
No. This is you,
Oh,
Samir.
you said Samir, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. So on a 9, yeah, she bends down and she just kind of caresses her cheek and just says, "Listen, I know people tell all kinds of stories about me, but don't you think it's right to give me an opportunity to tell my own?" And as she looks into your eyes, you realize, yeah, I mean, that's fair. All you've heard
Reasonable.
so far is gossip, right? Like this is the
Yeah.
actual person. You should give her a chance.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I remain neutral, but I'm curious, so
So you all go in.
Heck yeah.
I want just for a moment each of you to tell me what the house would look like to you when you go inside, and what it should be is whatever setting would make you the most comfortable. And I want each of you to tell me what that is. And then that's what each of you sees.
I would see a dwarven bar with low ceilings and lots of tables and a bunch of dwarves drinking their ale and singing songs about gold.
All right. Well, there's no other dwarves, but you see a lot of dwarven pub inspired decor.
Okay.
For me, it's like
a brothel.
you know how in the no, you know how in the Lord of the Rings when they got to Galadriel's house,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that. It's
Nice.
all like beautiful and
Mhm.
and natural. It's like home.
Mm-hmm.
So I have seen numerous, I've never been in one personally, but like those gyms that train boxers.
Mm-hmm.
They have like the punching bags hang down and they've got a sparring ring. Yep, that's where I'm at.
Nice. Yeah, and so I think as you see that inside, you see now, Federa, you see that like, why did you think she was in a dress with an apron before? She's obviously in workout gear. And then like Samira, you see that like she's not in some kind of like an elegant like night on the town dress. She's in a after a hard day's work, you go out for a few beers with your friends outfit. And whereas she's in an immaculate, beautiful gown for Dolavan. But all three of you can attempt to resist this influence now, and those of you who have the new Brain Who Dis can roll 2. I'm rolling 3.
I rolled a 6 and a 1.
I rolled a 1.
It's in a 3, 9.
Okay, well, I rolled a 9 as well, but a 9 in this case is tie is a failure, and so that what you have all seen is what you continue to see. But she leads you in, and closes the door behind you, and I think like you don't especially like notice like the sound of a lock or anything, but it just kind of feels like a notable act. Like she makes a little bit of a ceremony of closing the door behind you, and she says, "Now, so glad to have you all in my home, and I would love to hear how you've been enjoying the moon shadowed sea so far, and what I can do for you to make you more at home. What can I do to help you achieve what you're looking for today?"
I think I already have. I feel like I've been looking for you my entire life, and here you are.
Well, aren't you a sweetheart? That's easy enough. How about the two of you? Looking for treasure, glory, fame, comfort?
A legal degree in fake
Interesting.
contracts.
That is the first time I've heard that particular desire. I am intrigued, and I would love to help you with that, which I am very much capable of doing.
Do you have a contract I can review?
Do I? Yes. But in a moment. How about you, Federa? And none of you have said your names, right?
I know.
Yeah.
No.
Does that would that ping anything for me? Like, wait, how's she know my name? But
I mean, sure. Roll to ping.
yeah,
I'm rolling just 1d6.
yeah, got a 2.
I rolled a 1. So, yeah.
Nice.
So I think in this case, yeah, there is a little bit of a wait a minute. Yeah, so, like there's something happening here. She's reading your minds or something.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I feel like you seem like you already have a pretty good handle on who we are.
Well, sure.
I don't know that I'm looking for anything in particular. I'm just tagging along with these guys. Throw a punch every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps me entertained.
A gnome of simple pleasures.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, simple pleasures can be obtained. That's for sure. But isn't it easier to do so when you don't have to worry about things like where your next meal is coming from or the roof over your head? I'm sure we can find a nicer spot for you than that little mess of a shipwreck that you found.
Like you said, simple gnome.
So, we'll have a contract for you to look over in just a moment, Samir. Dolavan, if what you desire is time spent with me, I would be more than happy to indulge. And I think that we don't need to over examine the idea that this is some sort of a transaction, because what I would like to encourage is for you all to think of me as your friend. And friends do favors for one another. So, I think that while there are a number of contracts that I can offer you, Samir, for your perusal and study, and I can help you to obtain any kind of a certification that you might need to practice contract law, what I would ask in exchange is not that you sign some contract for me. Gauche. Instead, I would simply ask that you promise to do me a favor in turn.
I like signed contracts. They come in very handy.
Do go ahead and roll your Fey contracts thing. Now, your contracts are specifically related to accommodation. You know,
Accommodation,
you're
yes.
level 3. So
But
I
my
think your level 2 is maybe
yes.
what, yeah. So
Okay.
roll your level 2 contract specialist. Oh, you have a
I
shot. I
got
rolled low.
two two threes,
Oh.
which I'm gonna burn 2 experience points
Uh-huh.
and turn into a 12.
Okay, nice. That is a success. So, you recognize even through this charm that you're feeling
Mm-hmm.
that exactly it's kind of exactly what you said is that the thing with a contract is that it lays out very clearly what's involved, whereas the idea here in the Feywild that she would offer you something in exchange for a promise of a favor could be anything.
Right.
And that ultimately she would be the one to decide when you have done enough of a favor. It's so here's the thing, like it wouldn't take a legal expert necessarily to draw that conclusion, but your role, only your expertise in that allowed you to even have that idea outside of the charm feeling that you're having. And so I think that, yeah, you like signed contracts, and I think you're sort of feeling a little bit of a, just like a little bit of a sense of like somewhere in the back of your mind there's like some sort of an alarm bell ringing, but it's a little unclear. And as you kind of like look around, it's like some of these dwarven tavern decor pieces look more like obvious fakes to you now.
Mm.
And this woman just kind of glances at you and just kind of clucks her tongue. She's like, I tell you, you experts in contracts, you like your words, don't you?
Oh, words are wonderful things.
Well, let me just speak with your friends a little bit more, and I'll be back to you in a moment. Durlevon, I would love to spend time with you, a lot of time. How would you like to have a job with me? One where
Well, that'd be
you
great.
can stay as long as you like, and spend lots of time with me.
That sounds good to me. I mean, a job is good. I could spend time with you. Yeah, that
She
sounds good to me.
she offers her hand out like for a handshake, but it does it more like with her palm down.
I'm gonna take her hand and kiss it.
Hmm. She giggles, and then just kind of there's a moment where Samir, she glances at you, and there's a little bit of a predatory like look to you of like, mm-hmm. How about you, Federa? Are you sure that I can't tempt you with something?
Well, I think I might have something in mind in the future, but if we're talking about favors, if you want me to do you a favor, like, I don't know, now, we could just trade favors since I don't really know in particular what I want to ask for.
Well, this is something that I don't often find here. Usually, people who come to the moon shadowed sea know what they're looking for. And often, by the time they make it this deep, they know very clearly where they want to go to find it. So, for someone to arrive here so free of that particular burden speaks highly of your mental resolve and strength of character.
Thanks.
What sort of favor do you think that you could offer me?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've got, my friend here. Um, if they're going to be working for you, I don't know. I could offer to help them out.
Would you like a job as well?
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's what I'd want. I didn't. That just seems like me doing stuff for you.
I thought that's what you were offering.
Well, yeah, until I think of what I want. Right? Getting confused.
That's all right. No need to be confused. Go ahead. It sounds like a deal. She holds out
What
her
do
hand.
What exactly are we dealing for here?
You'll work for me to keep your friend company. And then when you think of what you want, I will arrange it for you.
Pause for a minute, try to think of any. Not super smart, so just kind of like think of any reason to say no to that. Like it seems like that's right.
Hmm?
You could
You
be
want to roll
muscle.
your mental resistance?
Yeah.
All right.
9.
Okay, I got a 9 as well.
Jeez.
Seems.
Oh wait, do I have
Huh?
any XP?
Hmm?
I think I have a 1.
Yeah.
I have 1 XP.
Okay.
I can bump it to a 6. So
Yeah.
then I could, yeah. I'm gonna use my 1 XP.
Okay. All right. So unless you make it all 3 6s, you don't get a new level up skill, but you can make the number higher. Although I think this is specifically the original rules. This is the specific scenario that's supposed to not be, but it's fine because it's just how we're doing it. So I think that you have that same sort of recognition that Samir did, which is like, wait, she's being extremely vague. She's implying that at some point in the future you might come up with something and she might arrange it, but in the meantime you are agreeing to work for her for an undisclosed amount of time. And the thing is, like, you realize also when she said to Dolavan is like, stay as long as you like, doesn't mean that you get to leave when you don't like it anymore. But you do get to stay as long as you like, and then some. Or at least it could be. That's the whole thing, is that like she is being very loosey-goosey in the language. And so I think you're kind of recognizing that. And obviously, I know as players, you guys are like hip to what's going on here, but yeah.
This is hard. Okay. So you'll let me hang around my. Wait, what favor am I doing for you?
Well,
Exactly.
you're working for me?
Until I decide what favor it is I want, right?
Well, I obviously can't do a favor for you, and if you don't know what it is,
So you will just owe me.
it depends a lot on you deciding what it is that you want.
Well, I kind of like the idea of being owed a favor. Yeah.
What if
Sure.
you never figure out what it is you want?
Oh, I'm sure I'll figure out something.
I'm
Plus, like
sure
maybe
you
as you're
will too.
working, maybe as you're working with me, like you'll get to beat up a lot of people for her. She is super good at beating people up, by the way.
Oh, I have no doubt. She says that she picks a little seaweed fiber off of your shoulder.
All right. Well, I'll hang around until I figure out what it is I want. But you owe me.
She offers her hand in the same way, like it's to shake, but with the palm down, so you could certainly decide how you wanted to. Like, is that a
I'll just
handshake
kind-
or is
I'll-
that a?
I'll just kind of take it awkwardly and like I have small hands anyway, so it's like that's not gonna.
Yeah.
I'll probably grab a finger.
And so then she kind of looks back to Samir and says, So, you came down here with 2 friends, but now it sounds like you're finding yourself a little bit more lonely.
Hmm. No, I'm still waiting for the contract you said you were going to get put
Well,
in
I
front of
have.
me.
So, if you would like to read, I have many different contracts you can look at. But that's not how I do business. I can certainly get you as many contracts to read as you would like. What will you do for me?
I'm not reading contracts for the fun of it.
You said
If
that what you hoped was to study and become an expert.
uh, yes, in a legal college and earn a law degree.
Hmm.
Fey contracts are phenomenally complex,
It's true.
and you seem to be avoiding the issue at hand, which is I'm not making any deals with you until I see a contract with, you know, service clauses in it. What are you providing exactly?
Well, let me be very clear. And she leans down close to you, and all of a sudden, like her teeth look very sharp, and her eyes are all black, and she says, "I don't do business that way." Would you like to read some contracts? And she comes back. She looks more normal again. Or I can also make sure that you get a legitimate certification to practice Fey contract law. These are things that I can offer you, but I don't put my bargains down on contracts because I prefer to do favors for friends.
Hmm, that's not going to work for me.
All right, then I'm afraid that I must ask you to leave. Federa Dolavan, can you see Samir out? And as she says that, you find that yeah, of course you do that for for the lady. I mean, she asked you to. You work for her now.
It
Yep.
took one of my big old arms and one of his and escort him to the door. All right, man. Good luck.
Good luck out there.
Doesn't eat you.
So,
Bye.
all right. Samir, as you are kind of, as soon as you are outside again
Mm-hmm.
and the door closes behind you, I think the mental process that you go through is, first of all, there's this wave, like someone has, you're already underwater, of course, but just imagine the shock of someone like pouring a bucket of cold water on you, and that's what it feels like coming out of the influence of this enchantment. And you have just enough of consciousness of that to realize, man, she's got a hell of an aura on her. Good thing that you know that what you really want is deeper. That's where you're going to find what's really important. Doesn't matter that your friends are staying with her, because what you need is deeper.
I am going to try and resist the call.
Okay. I'm rolling 3d6 for this now.
I got a 6.
Yeah? I got an 8. But you got a 6 with 1?
With 1 die.
Okay, so you can now give yourself the level 2 resistance of this and roll 1 more die.
Okay.
That's the new brain who dis.
Yeah?
New brain who dis. I got a 3.
Okay, yeah, so that makes it a 9, which does succeed. So you realize, having just come out of one sort of enchantment aura, that you are feeling another, and so you still do feel it, but you're kind of conscious that it's emanating, it's coming from outside of yourself. There is something calling to you, and it's trying to make you want to go there. but like you were able to be aware of this and not think that it's your own idea, but you do
Mhm.
still sort of feel the pull.
Okay.
And you do see the path that leads, past this house into the deep, further into the deep.
Okay. Hmm.
All of a sudden, though, you're without your two friends. What's the plan
Yeah.
here?
So, um, I was hoping to tie her down with some contracts, but she threw me out.
Mm-hmm.
My friends are okay-ish for a while, but the longer they're under her spell, probably gonna be harder.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing that I will actually offer.
Yeah.
We're a little earlier than we might normally play to, but this could be the sort of thing where Samir becomes an NPC that the scare stoppers might encounter, saying, I came down here with my two friends and they went in and they like out of nowhere accepted jobs with her and now they work for her and I don't know what to do. It could be something like that,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like I need help.
Hmm. And it's obvious that this lady who lives in that house is an extremely powerful and dangerous and scary individual. So
Yeah.
maybe some crew that seems tough and able to deal with scary things.
Yep.
Hmm? So, with that, that could be a reasonable stopping point for our adventure tonight, unless anyone feels like you want to kind of follow this path a little further.
Oh, I'm right
I-
where I want to be.
I like the idea of these three characters becoming NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me happy.
All right. Well, I think that's the plan then. So I think it's a little bit early for our usual sessions, but I think we will have to find out what happens to Dolovan, Samir, and Federa when we return with the Pocket Protectors, aka the Scare Stoppers, a division of the Frighteneers, next time on So Many Levels. But just as a note, that won't be next week because I'm going to be out of town. But I hope that we will be returning on June 13th. But until then, good night, everybody, on So Many Levels.
So many levels.
So many levels.